Hi, everyone. I'm here today with John Stapleton, the principal of Open Policy Ontario, a consulting firm, and someone who has spent his adult life researching social assistance policies and how they affect people in Ontario. So thanks so much for joining us, John.
Oh, you're quite welcome.
So, John, you have been researching this issue for decades. So I'm wondering if you can take us back almost 30 years to the mid 1990s when Mike Harris slashed social assistance rates and we first started hearing of this thing called the welfare diet. Can you tell us more about the welfare diet and what it was?
Yeah, right at about the time when what we now call Ontario Works was reduced by 21.6%. And the purpose of that was to have social assistance rates in Ontario that were 10% above the average of the other 9 provinces. In other words, that's how they came to the 21.6% figure. And it was true at that time that social assistance in Ontario was somewhat higher than some of the provinces, not all of them. But being a larger province with higher expenses for people, higher shelter costs, one could argue that they should have been higher. But at that time, there was a lot of, with the new minister, Minister Tsubouchi, at the time, there's a lot of pressure on him. People asking, well, how are people going to be able to live on amounts that have been cut by that amount of money, especially when we had gone through decades of social assistance increases that were not increased with inflation. They were periodically reviewed, but they were chronically and consistently falling behind inflation. And so the minister, in his attempt to talk about how one could, in fact, uh, live on the amount of money that, for a single person, the amount at the time was $520 a month. And so he drew up a diet. Not, I don't think anyone's exactly sure where it came from, but it was a monthly diet that was intended for a single, what we now call OW recipient, and that diet came in at somewhere around $90 for the month. That diet now would be approximately $190 a month now with inflation since 1995. So that was the purpose, to demonstrate and to illustrate that someone could live on that amount of food for the month, and therefore demonstrating the I guess the adequacy of the $520 rate, even though it had been reduced from 663 before the new government at the time came in.